Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Dr. Maureen Hosier joining us here from Los Angeles. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. And
Great.
you?
I'm doing very well. Happy day today. It's Friday. Always I get to talk to you with a big smile on my face because the weekend's here, but it's been a good week. Please introduce yourself to everyone. Thank you.
Maureen Hosier, and I'm a psychologist, and I work with people who are in relationships or recovering from relationship loss. And my hope and my need is to help people understand what they're doing in their dynamics, their relationship dynamics that are ruining their relationship, and they aren't aware that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so things can be changed and they can handle their issues differently. And things can grow.
Yeah.
The relationship, the emotional attachment, the caring, the love will grow. And a caring relationship is exquisite.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exquisite. So because both people care about one another, both people care that the relationship works for both of them, and they're both not needing, I'm going to put that in quotation marks, they don't need to be taken care of. In most relationships, we're emotionally young and
needy. Can I just say the word needy? Because I know we were going to bring up my boyfriend today, which is fine. And it just triggered me. We talked about the smoking and how I don't want to change him, but just don't smoke in front of me. Right. That's what we talked about last week. But speaking of the needy word, he's also so needy for love, for attention, for this, for that. And I'm like, I'm just a different being. I'm not as needy. I don't have the time to be needy. I raised 2 kids by myself. But this is a great topic. Continue.
Okay. Well, that is a great word. And isn't it interesting that he chose you?
Yes. Why is that? His mother is very similar to me. A little bit of a hardcore, like non-emotional. I'm emotional, but his mom was like strict Greek off the boat, like very ran businesses, didn't have time to take care of him. She was always busy, but strict. And he says, and I've met her only a few times. She's in her 90s. She's amazing, but I love her because she seems like me. Like she gets things done and that's it. Like, but I have a feeling he's attracted to me because I'm like her.
That's exactly right. And that's what we do. And that's where the issue is. That's where we didn't have the development or the person there that would
love and the
nurturing and the holding and even the understanding, the letting go when a child needs it, go, and over time all these experiences accumulate. They're in our neurons, they're in our brain, they're in our experience. We will find a person where we need to grow emotionally more mature. We will find them. They will find us. And we think that the attraction is sexual.
Pheromones and yeah.
It's not. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, attractive to us, but it really is about humans must grow emotionally more mature. In number one, in order for us to even make it on this planet, we don't care about our planet. That's not going to work in the long run. It's just not. And many of us are still young children needing to be powerful as adults. And if we have power, then we're going to use power, which it doesn't make relating easy with that person because that person needs the power, needs to feel superior. Often we'll get with someone who feels inferior and will then do what superior person wants them to do until with time and many experiences, then maybe the rest of their lives, maybe somewhere along the line, the inferior person begins to stand up for themselves. And then the fighting begins.
Yeah.
And that's too emotionally young behavior. How many people argue every time they have an issue? And how much good does an argument do?
Yeah. I feel
None.
like it never goes away. Like you can get over it, but it's still stuck and embedded in your memory, like how you feel and how, and then it usually, in my case, always comes up. Cyclical cycle always comes up. And I'm like, same pattern, same behavior, same
Well,
everything. Yep.
so that's exactly what we humans can become aware of. We're doing something that's not working. And that's the definition of craziness. And we do it over and over and over. We just argue. We argue and fight about it. And then we are hurt. In that fight, that argument, that interaction, because we adults are emotionally immature, somebody must win. Therefore, somebody must lose. That's a child's way of thinking, and that's normal development. That's where a child is. There's no way around it because there's nobody but me on this planet that counts, just me. And so they will fight for just me, to be heard, to be understood, to get what they want, to be taken care of. And those are what adult arguments are about.
Yeah.
So the adults, you've got an adult body, but you've got emotionally, you're a child. And there's no way for that relationship to work unless somebody really gives up themselves to make the relationship work.
Yeah.
And some are successful that way. Nowadays, many are not. So the idea here, or my idea, is that we have to emotionally grow up somehow. How do we emotionally grow up? I think if we understood what is going on, what's happening, and about ourselves, we could grow up. We could begin to understand, oh, I'm reacting right now. I'm arguing, I'm fighting, I'm blaming, I'm accusing, I'm demanding. Me, I'm doing that, and I don't want to do that. So how do I stop myself from being involved in that? That's where consciousness has to come in. Unconscious is doing what I was doing, yelling and demanding and accusing and blaming and all that stuff. My consciousness has to kick in. Oh my gosh, I'm doing something that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's a hard one because the fighting that we do is reflexive. It's like for a child, we're just trying to save ourselves. We're just trying to hold us together and get what we need.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for an adult because we should be able to talk with one another and figure it out how to have it work for both of us. So, and this is hard, is both, if both partners are on board with this, it would be something like, let's stop. This is going nowhere. We're just arguing. Let's not do that. And really stop. And then when we're able to listen, one of us says to the other, I can listen now. And really listen, because I'm not ignited. I'm not stimulated. I'm not, and I can listen. I now know I'm not in my flight or fight or withdraw instincts, reflexes.
Yeah.
So then you would talk and I would listen, but you would talk about yourself. You're not going to talk about me. It's hard to do. But it can be done. This is what I thought was happening. This is what was going on for me. This is how I understood when you said this is how I understood it. So everything is about me. Do you feel blamed when I'm saying those words?
No.
But blaming for us humans is really a trigger. Because we're right there with, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're right there. So if there's a way to get it stopped, now some people use a word, to stop their fighting. I find with the couples that I work with, that didn't work because people started using it to control. So they would, somebody said, I don't know, seaside. And so they started arguing. Somebody said seaside before their partner could get out the next words. So, so they used it in the argument.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't work. For me, is trying to catch myself and stop and then just say, this isn't working. It feels awful. I'd prefer to be able to talk about it later when I can listen. I can't listen right now. And hopefully then that will enlighten both of us as to what was going on for the other. And neither one of us has to win or lose.
Yeah. Sounds
or
so
be right.
simple, doctor. The way it does.
Or,
if two people could open their mind and expand it could understand what you're saying. It is.
I think it is simple, but it's really hard to get undone from those behaviors that we've been doing for years and years and years and years. And we just don't know what we don't know until we can learn it. And I had a couple the other day that just, they couldn't reconnect. They were still even after speaking with one another, they were still both very angry with each other. And I had to end the session because the session was over, and I'm there, wondering how I can say whatever it is to get this couple reconnected. And what I realized is the most important words are, I'm sorry. That was about the situation, about the interaction. I fueled that fire. I was mean. Yeah. I didn't listen. I accused you, and you know what? I got it this time, and I'm sorry.
Yep.
I can listen. And then hopefully that will be then the emotional reconnection that is needed. And that may take a little bit of time, but when that apology is there, it's so powerful. And if it's about myself and my, what I'm doing, that it fuels the fire and how I'm staying involved. And I'm not blaming you at all, because it's not. I don't have to react to anything you do. I don't have to react to it. We humans think we do.
Yeah.
We and kids, children, feel entitled to their anger. That makes sense.
It
They
does.
don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
That's what they feel.
Yeah.
So they feel very entitled. It's the acting on the anger then that a lot of people will do. They'll do something stupid, go out and drink,
Yep.
smash a car,
Mm-hmm.
blame the other. But at early emotional development, that's what we do, is we blame somebody else until we learn something new.
Yeah.
We'll always do that if we haven't had the experiences with our parents that help us. I wished my mother would have had said to me when she's telling me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, Mom, that's not what happened. Because that didn't happen for me, but she was saying it was happening for me.
Okay.
Nobody can say what's happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. They can think they know what's happening for me. And that's what how I do my work. I can think or feel I know what's going on for you, but all I can say was this going on for you?
Yeah.
But when we're blamed, there's just, and it's not right on. The words just aren't right on
Yep.
and accurate and the truth, then we are just not going to go there.
Yep.
And that's when that interaction begins. So that's what I help people with every day, to the best of my ability, is to, number one, understand more about what's going on
Yep.
with them, because it's so clear how much our behavior comes out of what happened to us in the past. It's right there. It's what you said about your interaction.
Yep.
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 So that's how close our neurons, our neuronal experiences of what's happening in the past and in the present, that's what everything, it's like they're categorized there. This is real scientific. I want you to know what I'm saying.
Okay, got it. Got it.
It's not scientific at all, but it comes so close to where stuff is stored that it feels the same. And we're reacting the same as we did as a child, because we haven't had new experiences.
True.
So you and I right now, we're talking about new experiences for you the next time. We'll have to see what happens. And you may not get it right away, but you may then turn around, leave, walk away, flip on the finger, do whatever you do, and then you go, oh, what was going on for me?
Yeah.
That I had to react like that.
Yeah.
And the answer is inside you. The answer is inside your body, inside your chest.
Okay.
And so when you ask that, I don't want you to ask, why did I do that? Because that is going to come out of your brain. Our brain isn't going to give us our answer, but our feelings attached to our brain are going to give us the answer. What's going on for me? Drop down into yourself. That I handle it, that I went off.
Mm-hmm.
What was my trigger? What is that? And then don't think. No thoughts. Just leave it be.
Mm-hmm.
And your answer, in my experience, and in a lot of my couples' experiences, will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And they will begin, people will begin, instead of talking out of their heads, will begin to talk up out of their feelings. And it usually is something like a memory. So we have the ability as humans to be attached to this moment in time.
Okay.
And our past. We can watch our past. We can watch ourselves in our pasts reacting and acting like we did as a kid. And to me, it's an amazing experience because it begins to connect me with me.
Yeah.
And I was a kid that didn't remember my childhood. But when I can begin to do this, now I can begin to connect, remember my past.
Okay.
Through my experiences in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just acting out what happened to me as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's how we grow, I think.
Yeah.
That's how we grow emotionally more mature. And I will listen. And in listening, I learn about where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You learn about where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe because we both have empathic parts of ourselves, we're going to feel for each other. And in feeling for each other, we now know each other better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now we can avoid those I begin to remember you in my mind.
Yeah. So
now when as an us is being built in our experiences, in our relationship, there's an us being built in my mind. Mm-hmm. So when I think about something, a friend just invited me over here on Saturday to da 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 da. I'm going to have you in my mind, friend, partner, whatever, and I'm going to go, because this will happen with everybody. We'll have two people in our minds. I will remember your sensitivities and your schedule and your needs. And I will say, hey, listen, I just talked to such and such. And I'm thinking about.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we have to go. I apologize. Finish your thought.
Okay. I would think about you then and handle things with my words kindly with you.
Yeah.
Not make it a demand.
Perfect. Well, thank you. How do we reach out to you, please?
My phone number is 310-210-6772. And my email address is maurreen@yahoo.com.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Have a great
Thank
day
you.
and a great weekend.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.